Students who use the Commuter West parking lot may be having to work a lot harder to find a spot in the future. Coming up, MCTV's McCully will have a look at how the university's growth is causing some pain for students driving to campus.
With finals fast approaching, several campus groups are holding their last events of the semester. Find out how Tech students could pledge to think ethically during finals and put their artistic skills to use to create a special keepsake next.
And the Texas Tech baseball team is only a half game out from another Big 12 championship after a big weekend in Oklahoma. MCTV's Paige Sachse has a wrap-up of that series, along with a look around Tech athletics and sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm McCully.
And I'm Aundrea Jackson. Parking is a constant problem here on Texas Tech campus, and it seems like that issue may be getting worse with the construction of a new athletics facility.
That's right, Aundrea. Earlier this semester, the university broke ground on the Dustin R. Womble Basketball Center. The new facility will displace 300 spots for students who park in Commuter West.
Currently, 2,200 students use the Commuter West parking lot, which is located across from the United Supermarkets arena. Now that the Womble Center has broken ground, there are 300 less spots available.
That's cool, they're doing more construction, but where am I going to park?
Gaconier says she was not pleased to learn of the new facility due to previous problems with Texas Tech parking services.
I just feel like they don't provide us with enough spaces to park. They're going to do all this construction and block off parking, and then they give me a ticket if I try to park somewhere else.
Tech Parking Services wanted to assure students they are not the bad guy.
We want to minimize that impact on our students so you guys can get to where you need to go.
Stockard says there is a plan to add more spots in the Commuter West area and encourage student motorists to voice their opinion.
We're welcoming input, especially at this juncture where we are looking at where is parking in need on campus. So please send us input, recommendations, thoughts. We welcome it.
Whether you're upset or happy about the new facility, the Womble Center is going up. In the meantime, Tech says there is a plan to add new parking. If you'd like to give your thoughts or ideas to transportation and parking services, visit parking.ttu.edu and click on the Contact TPS tab near the top of the screen.
Today is the second to last class day before finals. That also means a lot of students are starting to stress out over exams and final projects. With that in mind, one campus group held a special event to help students complete their semesters with no regrets. Earlier today, the Texas Tech Ethics Center set up shop in the Free Speech area outside the sub for the spring edition of their Donut Cheat event. From 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., students passing by were encouraged to not cheat during finals. Students were then asked to sign a banner that stated, quote, "I pledge to act with academic integrity by upholding the principles of honesty and responsibility at Texas Tech University." After signing the banner, students could then pick up some complimentary donuts. The Spring Donut Cheat event was organized by the TTU Ethics Center and sponsored by Mentor Tech and Dunkin' Donuts.
Speaking of finals-related stress, another student organization gave students a chance to escape the pressure of schoolwork with a fun and free event. The Student Activities Board held a color therapy event today in the sub-courtyard. Color therapy kicked off at 11 a.m. and students could stop by and put their artistic skills to use. SAB provided a metal coloring board featuring Raider Red, and participants could then use markers, pens, and pencils to create their own unique keepsake. Students also had the option to use a coaster to create their work of art. As with all SAB events, color therapy was free for all students with a Tech ID. Today's event was also one of SAB's last big events before the summer. SAB will officially wrap up its spring 2019 calendar with a study break movie this Friday in the Sub Escondido Theater. Friday's feature will be the recent comedy release, Isn't It Romantic? The movie features Rebel Wilson as a young woman who has given up on love only to get knocked out and wake up to find herself trapped inside a romantic comedy. SAB's study break movie is scheduled to start at 9 p.m. and it's free for all students.
Last week, students passing through the library had the chance to learn about several important topics and issues during a yearly event. The 7th annual Gender Fair was held last Wednesday and Friday in the library's Crosland Room. From noon to 2 p.m., students from Dr. Amy Human's Gender and Communication course set up booths to explore various topics and issues affecting today's world. The booths covered everything from gender identity to body image to violence against women and even sexual education. The annual fair is planned and organized by the students with guidance from Dr. Human. The students are then responsible for choosing the topic of each booth and providing information to attendees. The annual Gender Fair is held each spring here on campus.
It was a busy weather weekend here in the Lubbock area. Along with a mixture of clouds, sun, and humidity, we also saw severe weather on the South Plains last night.
That's right, Jay. So what can students look forward to as they head to campus for the last day of class? MCTV's Madison Hartin joins us in studio with a look at the forecast. Madison.
Thanks, guys. It was definitely an interesting weekend of weather here on the South Plains, and it definitely kept me busy all weekend. I was enjoying all of it. We actually did see a lot of severe weather. A tornado did touch down by Tahuka, Texas, south of us, and we got some of the tail end of that with heavy rains and hail in the area. I had lots of people sending me pictures on Instagram this weekend of all the hail that they saw here in town, so thank you for that. For the most part, it was mostly the pea-sized hail like we can see here. Compared to the penny, it's really small, relatively tiny, but in some areas we did see quarter-sized hail. Quarter-sized hail is around the time where we start to see hail damage on vehicles and on property, so if you see hail that big, maybe you should get inside, take shelter. It's just not safe, and make sure your car is covered if you do see that we're going to be having hail that size. It's never very fun to be out there when that's happening, but for right now, looks like that severe weather has moved out of our area for this week, and it is going to be relatively nice. Right now, looking at our MCTV tower cam, we can see that the skies are big and blue and beautiful, just the way I love to have them, with a couple of wispy clouds out there in the distance, but for the most part, it is lovely outside. Our high for today climbed all the way up to 85 degrees, mostly sunny and warm, and a wind coming from the south by southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And that wind is going to continue into tonight, as we can see. As the temperature drops down to 64, it'll be mostly cloudy and mild conditions, and we might see some chances of rain in the midnight to AM area of tomorrow. Looking at our little corner of Texas as a whole, we can see that we could be experiencing a little bit more rain tonight. Looks like the main area where we could be seeing some slight risk of severe weather is slightly north of us by the Plainview area, but Lubbock does have a marginal risk for severe weather into the AM for tomorrow morning, so just keep that in mind for what you're doing tonight. And then looking at our South Plains graphics for the heat, we can see that we're having relatively warm temperatures right now. Our warmest temperatures are down south by Brownfield right now at about 84, and our low temperatures are dropping down into about the 60s, but nothing compared to the winter conditions that we were experiencing earlier in the year. It's been relatively nice outside these past couple weeks. Hopefully the winter conditions are officially behind us, but you never know, it always gets a little bit crazier. For Tuesday, cloudy conditions, high of 81, low of 58, and a southerly wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour. For Wednesday, sun will be making an appearance again. 81 degrees is our high, low of 47, and a westerly wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And then for Thursday, a little bit cooler, high of 64, low of 45, and an east by northeasterly wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Red Raiders, it's been an honor being your weather woman this semester. I can't wait to see you guys next fall. Hopefully nothing too severe will happen this summer while I'm out of town, but you never know what's going to happen. I look forward to being here next fall and continuing to be your weather woman. Back to you.
Thanks, Madison. With the end of the semester less than a week away, many seniors are also preparing for graduation. And if you're hoping to watch a friend or a loved one walk across the stage, here's some details on next weekend's ceremonies. The spring 2019 commencement schedule kicks off next Friday at 2:30 p.m. in the United Supermarkets Arena. The first ceremony will feature graduates from the College of Arts and Sciences, Visual and Performing Arts, and Education. On Friday night, the graduate school will hold ceremony starting at 7:30 p.m. Then, on Saturday, the second day of commencement will start at 9 a.m. The colleges represented in that ceremony will include Engineering, Human Sciences, and the Honors College. Graduates from university programs and Wind Energy will also walk the stage at 9 a.m. And at 1:30 p.m., graduation wraps up with the final ceremony of the weekend. The fourth ceremony will feature graduates from the College of Business Administration, Agricultural Sciences, and Natural Resources, Media and Communication, and Architecture. Although there have been a few changes with commencement over the last year, seating for all ceremonies is still first come, first serve.
If you're planning on attending one of the university's commencement ceremonies, you'll have the chance to hear from a Tech alumnus who has become one of the best performers in her field. Grammy Award-winning singer Susan Graham will serve as one of the 2019 commencement speakers. Graham is a mezzo-soprano opera performer who has taken her talent and skills around the world. She has performed in various venues over the last 40 years, including the Sydney Opera House and the Hollywood Bowl. Graham is originally from Midland, and she graduated from Texas Tech with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Music Performance. From there, she moved to New York City and joined the Metropolitan Opera in 1991. Along with Graham, National Book Award winner Barry Lopez will also serve as a commencement speaker between the university's fork ceremonies.
Texas Tech baseball and softball are wrapping up regular season conference play with some big wins.
MCTV's Paige Sachse joins us in studio with a look at highlights and scores from both those series and more in sports. Paige?
Thanks, Jay and Aundrea. The Texas Tech baseball team got their first series win in Norman since 1999 against the Oklahoma Sooners this weekend. The Red Raiders swept the Sooners with an 8-4 victory yesterday afternoon. The team was up 5-0 through 4 innings, and sophomore pitcher Bryce Bonin threw for 6 shutout innings. During the game, Josh Young went for 4 for 5 with 3 doubles and 2 runs. Sophomores Gabe Holt and Cody Masters were key components as well to the victory, having 3 hits each during the game as well. Yesterday's victory gave Tech its 3rd sweep of the Sooners under coach Tim Tadlock. The Red Raiders come back home to host a midweek doubleheader against FIU on Tuesday. Tech will then close out the regular season with a 3-game series with TCU on May 16th through the 18th here in Lubbock. The softball team finished off their regular season schedule with a series sweep of the Kentucky Wildcats this weekend. Thanks to Jessica Hartwell and her grand slam in yesterday's game, the Lady Raiders finished the game with a 9-6 victory on Senior Day. Both Peyton Blythe and Trinity Edwards sent balls out of the park to give Tech their first lead of the game. Aaron Edmondson earned the victory and is now 18-3 this season. The sophomore limited the Kentucky offense to just 4 hits in a little over 5 innings. With this top 25 win, the Lady Raiders finished the regular season with an impressive 28-13 record. Coming up, the Lady Raiders head to Oklahoma City for the Big 12 championship on May 10th and 11th. The number 22 Texas Tech men's tennis team headed out to Palo Alto, California for the NCAA tournament and unfortunately was eliminated in the first round by UC Santa Barbara 4-1. Although it was a tough matchup and not the way the Red Raiders wanted to end the season, there are still a couple players that are being recognized for their outstanding performances this year. Bjorn Thompson, Iglesias Valiev, and Parker Wynn secured all Big 12 accolades last Wednesday. Sophomore Iglesias Valiev was honored this season and held a number 3 position in singles play. In doubles play, Bjorn Thompson and Parker Wynn kept climbing the rankings this season and reached up to the number 4 spot in the nation. They have been selected to participate in the NCAA Doubles Championship May 20th through the 25th in Orlando, Florida. The Lady Raider tennis team's season came to an end this weekend as well in Los Angeles, California, falling to UNLV 4-3 in the NCAA tournament on Saturday. Senior Felicie Maltby and freshman Olivia Pete won 6 straight games to claim a win. Freshman Kennedy Bridgeforth and Reagan Collins clinched the doubles point, but unfortunately the Lady Raiders fell in singles play. The season isn't over for the senior captain, Felicie Maltby. She earned her bid to compete in the NCAA Division I Women's Singles Championship. Maltby has qualified for the singles competition for the last 2 seasons and advanced to the round of 32 for both years and is looking to improve on that in Orlando, Florida later this month. And that's all for sports. Back to you, Aundrea and Jay.
Thanks, Paige. For many students, schoolwork and upcoming finals are enough to keep them stressed until the semester ends next week.
That's true, Aundrea, but for some students there's another issue that could be adding pressure to their end-of-the-year plans, but luckily there may be an option for relief. Transportation and Parking Services, in partnership with Raider Red's Food Pantry, is hosting the annual Park Hunger Food Drive. Starting today, students with unpaid parking tickets can bring in non-perishable items to donate to the food pantry. For every item that is donated, TPS will dismiss a citation on your account. The items donated must be equal to or more than the fine on the citation, and a receipt is required to verify the value. If you'd like to donate during the Park Hunger Drive, you can stop by the TPS office located at 407 Flint Avenue every day between 7:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. The Park Hunger Food Drive wraps up next Friday.
So So Jay, I hear that today is your last newscast with MCTV.
It is. It's been a fun, 3-year ride here at MCTV. I remember when I was a sophomore transfer coming in, and I was like, I messaged Josh and I was like, hey, I want to be a part of this. And, he took me under his wing. And, what you guys don't see is like, it's a team. It's not just anchors that you see, And I really want to, thank Josh for, helping me hone my skills. And it's been an emotional ride. But I hear you're also graduating too.
I am. I'm actually going to stay here for another year. I'm going to do a master's program and thesis, so striving to get that PhD.
Okay, so you're definitely not Lubbocking or leaving it. So.
I guess that's true. So that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. Have a great summer and check back for more MCTV next fall.